So guys, we are going to start our today's session. First we will covering like what is constructor and what is constructor overloading. That is very like basic concept of Java. And after that we will covering the more parts on locators, like some locators we have seen yesterday, and today we will be focusing on more locators, and also how we are going to write our own XPath. Suppose that with the help you are able to design or you are able to get the text XPath for the particular web element, but you can also design your own XPath. So today we are also going to cover that thing, and somehow like we will be also getting some idea of CSS selector too today. Fine. So coming to my Eclipse, I'm using Eclipse Neon version, and my system is Windows 32-bit. So it depends, the latest version of Eclipse is Oxygen, and this is also interview question, like which flavor of Eclipse you were using. See, today we have designed like some concept of class, that what is a class, what type of data we can design in a class. Say that some examples I have taken yesterday, like X is integer type, CH is character type, str is a string type, and this is the default constructor. And one thing I would like to tell about constructor: a constructor is basically a method of a class which is having the same name of class. Say that this is the name of class, and you can see the name of constructor, it is the same, and the parenthesis should be there, and whatever the parenthesis, like if it is blank, so it is called the default constructor or no parameter constructor. Fine. So whatever the code I have written in constructor, it should be like what you want to write, you can write over here. Basically we are writing the initialization codes, that whatever the values we have taken, we if we want to initialize, so basically those codes are being written over here. Say that in our case I have taken X, CH and str. So these three types of variable I have taken. Now I want to put some value, default value, so I am giving those values over here. Say that X is equal to 500. Say that for character it should be in single quotes, and whatever the character you want to assign, you can assign over here. And this is like a string, so it should be in double case. So I have taken here hello Java. Fine. And constructor, like curly bracket should be open and curly bracket should be closed. So this is the basic design of constructor. And I have also taken one system.out.println, that when and how it is going to be work in the background to understand that concept. So I have also taken like this is non-static, you can say method, because the static keyword is not present, so it is the non-static method of the class. Fine. And its name is setData. I have taken here setData. So basically it is as by that whatever the method you are going to define, the first character should be small letter. So I have taken simple method inside a class, and whatever the code I have written, you can see over here. Say that I have taken one print statement. I have like taken to initialize some value. X is equal to 200, str is equal to hello 1, and ch is equal to a. So it is character, so it should be always in single quotes. It is a string, so it should be in double quotes. Fine. And in my main, it's a static method, you can say. Basically JVM is taking care of this statement, and whatever the code you are writing over here, that is only going to execute. This is the design pattern, and this is the execution code. Whatever code you are going to write in public static void main, so those things will only run during the execution. Fine. So once again I will discuss like public. If it is public, so it is available outside the class. It is static, so by default like static is initialized when the class is loaded in the memory. And like void is a return type, this is called the return type, and this is the main method. of the class, in which whatever the code you are going to write, that only will be executed. And since it is a method, so it should have the parenthesis open and parenthesis close. And this is like a string type. Args, it means argument. Basically it is used for command line argument. In case of like someone is having a command line like from DOS, maybe you have used CMD, and if you want to run your program over there, so at that time you want to pass some argument to use that value in your main method. So at that time this is going to work. Otherwise it is like a default statement, you can say. If you're not going to pass those values, no problem, no issues, fine. So what I am doing here, this is the basic process of instantiation of a class variable. So this is the object. Basically object is created by this one. This is the reference, and we have to define the type of reference. So via this obj you can able to access the members of the particular class. So some methods are basically coming from the object class. Basically in Java, object is the parent class of all the classes. So might be you will be seeing that you have designed only two methods, but other methods will be coming as per the design. You can say that default design that I want to show you over here. So via OBJ, when you will click perform dot operation, so you have to see whatever the method is which are coming. Suppose that I have designed some methods and there are some system design methods. A big list is coming, but I have designed only few. I have designed like say that I have designed set data. Where it is? Yeah, here it is. I have designed set data. So I have designed like ch, I have designed like str, I have designed x. But what others are coming, that those are coming from the object class. So by default methods are also being present in any class instance. Got it? So if I want to use my own method, so I will be using object dot, and whatever the methods I want to use, I can use. Say that I have designed my own method called set data. Fine. So I can call that method via the object, and this is called dot operator. So via dot operator I will be using this set data, and whatever the code I have written, that will execute, and now the recent value will be updated. So this line is going to activate this one, and after that if I am using this line, so it is going to activate this one. So I would also like to show you like what are the values before this line of code and what are the values after this line of code. Fine. So first this line of code will execute, so default value will be coming like this, and after that if I am using this line of code, so the value will be changing like that. Because since it is not a constructor, so I will have to call it manually, and constructor is basically automatically being called. We don't used to call constructors separately. And one thing else, like if obj you are writing, so you are not getting any constructor method. You can have a look on that. Constructor is not coming here, right? You will have to notice these things. And one thing more about constructor, like constructor is not having any kind of return type, but you can apply public, private, protected and default keyword. So in the coming sessions I will be defining those keywords as well, but as of now you should have the concept like for constructor only four keywords are allowed: public, private, protected and default. No other keywords are applied to the constructor. So this question is like very important question for interview, like what are the keywords applicable for a constructor. So public, private, protected and default, only four keywords are applied to constructor. No other keywords in Java are allowed for constructor. Fine. So this is the very important conceptual question for the interview. And you should also have the concept like via dot operator, what other methods you are getting, like what other methods which are coming and from where they are coming. So they are coming from the object class, which is the parent class of all the classes in Java. Fine. So I'm going to execute this code, but I will also have to use like some uh, system.out.println I have to use, so that I can show you some kind of data output. System.out.println. So this is the method for printing any value on the screen. So via obj dot, if I want to print the value of any variable, I can print, say that ch. And suppose that if I want to print multiple value, so how we are going to do that? The plus operator is there, and via plus operator, like if I want to put a space, I can put the space in this way, and again with the help of plus operator I can use other values like that. Obj dot string, then again plus operator and a space, spacing should be given in this way, again plus operator, then again obj dot x. See, in this way we can also use the print statement. I'm also giving a single line, a single character space, so that each and every value should be separated. And suppose that if you want to add your personal comment, so you can also use your personal comment, like values are coming from the constructor. Fine. And now again this line of code. Fine. Just to define like from where the values are coming. So now I want to execute my code, and this curly bracket is for closing of main. I have opened here main, so I am putting a curly bracket, and this is the closing of the class. So I put the comment. So via double slash you can put the comment, and if I want to execute, just I have to right click and run as Java application. Now I am performing double click so that you should be able to understand. We are inside the default constructor. See, when the constructor first line number 34, due to this line of code, this value is coming from the constructor, this one. Fine. And again the next value a is coming, say that due to this one obj.ch, a is coming, then after that hello is coming due to obj.star, and after that 500 is coming due to obj.x, and after that message, whatever the message I have written, value are coming from the constructor. Fine. Again, now due to this message, now I have called this one, so set data is this part. Fine. So now again I am using the set data, and I should use like ln, that would be fine. Now I'm using set data. So while set data will be called, this 4 lines of code will be executed, and now the value of x is 200, the value of str is hello1, and now the value of ch is a. And if I will write this line of code, so the latest value of ch is a, so you can see a is coming, and the latest value of obj.str, that is hello1, it is coming from here only, and now the value 200 this is the value which is containing this value 200. Fine. So after set data, the value of obj.x is coming from this location, and whatever the message I have given, that is also coming. Values are coming from the set data method. So since I want to show you like constructor overloading, so what I'll do, I will just copy this one. Fine. Copy. I want to give you the concept of multiple constructors. So now, like you can see, I'm getting error due to same line of code. So what I will have to do, I will have to define some kind of parameter over here. So parameter. So parameters like say that I want to initialize three values. So first value like my is integer one, second is character one, and third is string one. Int, say that I am taking x1, char, I am taking ch1, and string string str1. See, I have taken three parameters to initialize the value into this part. Now what I will do, I will be assigning the value which are coming from some other source, that is x1 to x. Say that x1 will containing some value, and I will collect the value inside the parameterized constructor, and I will assign it to the x. Now the value ch1 is coming, I will assign that value ch1 over here, and now str1 to str. See, I have designed the parameterized constructor. This is called the parameterized constructor. Fine. And I will remove this line of code. So this is basically a comment, and my design is complete. Now to use this design, I have to pass some value while instantiation. So this is one way, and now what I will have to do, I will have to map. So now I'm creating obj1 this time, and I am passing three values. So this is the design pattern. So I have to define the type of this, define the type of this, and define the type of this variable. So in at the time of designing, you will have to provide the type of the variable, but at the time of passing the value, since we are using here in main, so at the time of passing, in the same fashion what the design is containing, I will have to pass the value. Say that for x1, that is called integer type, so I am passing here 10. Fine. And after comma, say that for ch1, I am passing the value, say that capital B. Again I am doing the giving the comma, and for str in the double quotes I am passing like parameterized fine. So now this is the calling part. You will say or activating or calling of default constructor. Parameterized constructor. Fine. So, and for the same which I have used this one, I can also call the method. So via obj1 dot you can get the value. You can see via obj1 all such things which were available for obj are also available for obj1. Fine. So what I'll do, I will just make a copy of this line and I will change the value from obj to obj1 for ease of writing. Otherwise you can write it separately, no problem. I want to use obj1, so I will just change the obj1, and suppose that for comment part I can give it like parameterized constructor. Fine. So you can see over here, just need to explain something. My This is called the design part and this is called the calling part. I want to show the value on the screen, so in this way I can show the value on the screen, and if I want to activate, so in this way I can activate the value of the parameterized constructor. Fine guys, so now I'm going to execute so that you should able to know how we are going to use the parameterized constructor and how when the default constructor will be called and now when the parameterized constructor will be called. So just clicking on run, so you can see my earlier codes were working fine, and due to one line of change now default constructor is activated. You can see over here in the output we are inside the the message I didn't change, I think. Yeah, should be parameterized constructor, parameteriz. Fine. Now again I'm executing so that you should able to know. See, when the default constructor is being called and when the parameterized constructor is being called. So you can have a look. The first is default constructor is being called and next time the parameterized constructor is called due to the line number 46. Due to line number 46, I am not calling it separately. It is automatically being called by the JVM at the time of instantiation. So via new operator you are instantiating and this is the calling name. I repeat, this is the calling name. obj1 is the calling name of this instance. So via this obj1 you will be using the parameterized constructors value whatever the present in the memory. Fine, heap memory. So this is the concept, this is the latest value which are coming. So via parameterized constructor I have passed the value and now the values are assigned. Say that I have passed 10, so 10 is assigned to x. I have passed b, so b is assigned to like ch, and this string, this is assigned to str. So if I am using obj1.ch, so value is coming from ch, that is b. I pass the value v, so b is coming over here, and say that I want to use obj1.str. So this line of this string, it is being passed and it is like assigned to here. So this is coming from here, and now again I am using obj1.x. So obj1.x, what the value it is stored over here, and I am passing that value 10 over here. So 10 is being assigned over here and 10 is coming. So in the, you can check the value. Now the value is coming b parameterized constructor and 10. So in this way guys we can use the parameterized constructor, and same rule applies for parameterized constructor as well. Like we can only have 4 keywords for constructor, no other keywords are allowed: public, private, protected and default. Default is something like if you are not giving any keyword, so it is considered as default, or separately you can define the default keyword. So those keywords I will be covering in next section. What are the concept of those keywords, on which level they are applied. So that is like very good concept of Java, and like being widely asked in each and every interview. What is a public, what is a private, what is a protected, and what is a default keyword, and where we can use. So this is a very good concept. If you are having that concept, so you will be able to understand. And while you are googling like something for internet, so might be you are going through the public keyword, private keyword, protected keyword, and default keyword. So that time you might be not having idea why it is being applied. So once you will be knowing that those keywords, so it will be easy for you to understand the piece of code, whatever the coming or whatever the written there on the Google sites. So I'm also going or for like taking those sessions on those keywords very soon. Now I'm going to cover some more topics on Selenium. This was the pre-defined list of Java for today. Since I have to consider those things, so I take in like parameterized constructor. And one thing I would like to tell, in a class you can define as many as, you can say, limitless constructor. So for defining limitless constructor, the type of parameter or number of parameters you can just change, and you can define as many as constructor there is. This is allowed in Java. So only via changing the number of parameters or type of parameters, you can define as many as constructors if you want. So might be like you are thinking like how many constructors we are allowed to design. So there is no limit, you can design as per your convenient. But like normal cases, there are two types of constructor. One is like default constructor and one is like parameterized constructor, and this concept is called constructor overloading. So constructor overloading is nothing like constructor name should be same, but the parenthesis, inside the parenthesis the argument should be different. In this case there is no one argument, and in this case like we have three arguments. So this was my understanding on constructor. If anyone has better, he can also come up with those suggestions. And now I'm going to take sessions on Selenium WebDriver. Fine. So I'm going to share this code on Skype as well. You can have it from there. See guys, might be someone like joining today new, but might be someone were present, some guys were present yesterday, and you have seen like there were some challenges for identifying the elements, fine, in the Firefox browser. And I checked the code, like there was nothing wrong with the code, just like these values were coming you can say dynamic. I checked like when runtime I launched the browser and I tried to identify like why it is not being recognized. So I found that these values were changed during runtime. So I have taken the latest one, since you are like very new on XPath identification. So in the later sessions we will be covering like how to generate your manual XPath to identify a particular web element. Fine. So I want to run this code and so whether it is going to work again, because in offline or like later session at my location I checked it was working fine. Just I want to explain what I have did. See, I would also like to explain what is the concept of this line, and without using this line you can also activate your browser. Say that launching of your browser is allowed. In my system I have designed like environmental variables for the same. So if you all, in this case I'm not putting this, so also this line of piece is going to work without any error. This is the code to opening the Facebook page, and this is the code for designing like web element for this web element. Via this name I can access this web element, and web element has different methods. Via dot operator you can have a look on that. like clear, click, equals, find element, find elements, get attribute, get class, get CSS value, get location. So get screenshot as, get size, get tag name, get text, hash code is displayed, is enabled, is selected, notify all, send keys. Like there are many. You can have a look. At least you should have a look like what are the methods which are present for a particular web element. And you can also have a look like via dot operator. What are the methods present for a Firefox driver instance? Just have a look because it is a conceptual like type of thing one should have. Say that close equals execute asynchronous script, execute script, like find elements by, find elements, like get capabilities, get class. So in the coming season you might be getting these things, but as of now, like you should have a look so that you at least you should know what are the other methods which are present. So via dot operator you can able to see all such things. See, it is containing a big list. So I want to run this. Basically it will, first I want to explain what it is going to do. I manually open the browser to explain. See, this is the first name, this is the surname field, this is the mobile number field, this is the password field, and this is the drop down. So for drop down, like there is a select class which we require to use. As of now I have ignored that, and this is like a radio button. So there are multiple web elements. You can see some are like images, some are links. So you need to identify the particular web element on which you want to perform some kind of action. So I have written the code, few line of codes to identify the web element. So this line of code, like input is for this. This is the first name for input. This is the surname field. Surname is for this one. And I am performing like send keys hello in the input name, and in the surname I am just performing my name. I am writing over here like in the password field. This is the mobile number field in which I am putting the mobile number. You can see I'm just putting the mobile number, and in the password field, this is the password, new password field. I am just putting some text or strings, you can say, because it is in the double quotes, it is considered as a string. Fine. And now the first one, the input name dot clear. So after entering all the values, it will clear the values from this field. Fine. So this is like my basic automation script, and I will run it, and you will notice whether it is going to work or not. If it is not going to work, then I'll explain why it is not going to work. You have noticed without using like system.set property, my browser has been launched. Why it is so? I will also explain that thing. Have you noticed? All script is working fine. First this field is coming, then this field is coming, then this field is coming, then this field is coming, and after that this field has been cleared. So no error is coming today, it is working fine. I have not done any change apart from like identifying the ID value. So now today I'm going to cover more locators. Just I shown that there was some issue in the earlier script. So IDs was changing or were changing, so that's why it was not working. Now it is working fine. So in the coming Firefox, this is my manually opened browser, and I am having the Firepath and Firebug. I will open it and say that I want to identify this particular web element. So what I'll do, I'll just perform the right click, inspect in Firepath. Say that this is the Firepath coming for this, or you can say XPath, because I have opted XPath, so XPath is coming. Someone has asked like why does dot operator? So dot operator is for class definition, and basically whatever the path is coming, and if a particular web element will be performing some actions, so the search location will start from the context node, you can say the current node. So dot operator is also considered for like containing the or pointing the current node. So from current node, it is going to search the particular web element. So dot operator, here it is, that purpose use. You can also ignore. And double slash is for like relative XPath. Star is for searching all kind of tags. If you want to guide like that locator should search only particular tag, so you can put the tag name like whatever the tag you want. Fine. So in the designing part, we will be covering that thing. But to understand, you should have the basic idea. In the big bracket, at the rate symbol, this is called the attribute, and this is called the value of that attribute. So you can see I have taken ID, because if the ID is present, so first priority is always given to the ID because it is unique for all the web elements. In the most of the cases, like it is unique for all the elements. So ID is preferred. If ID is not there, then you should go for name or class name. So in this case, like class name is there, but might be chance like it is not unique. So might be other web element that is also containing the same class name. Fine. And basic pattern in the single quotes you have to do, and after that you have to close via big bracket. So if you want to use other locator, so how you want to use? Say that I want to show you for CSS. So I have changed from XPath to CSS, and I want to identify. So right click, inspect. Now the value is coming like that. So has symbol is for ID. See, if it is has symbol, then it is for ID value. Fine. And if it is dot symbol, then it should be for class name. Say that I am taking this element. Again, ID is present for that element. So ID is always given the priority. But if the class name is there and this for this class name is not there, so I will be taking some another example. If I found some class name value, say that right click, inspect. It is also taking ID, and how you are going to read this. So I will also explain like CSS when I will explain CSS selector. So in the depth I am going to explain that what is and how you are going to read this. So basically ID, it is called, first go to that element who is containing the ID like reg, pages, msg. So you can see over here this element is containing, and after that go to this element. So this is nothing like in XPath you are having single slash, and in the CSS selector you are containing the greater than symbol. So via greater than symbol you are pointing to the next element. So first the locator will go to this element, and after that it will point to the next element which is having the tag name called A. So via this you can see that it is going to identify. So might be you are having some good idea that how we are going to identify, because for this element ID was not present and other locators was also not present. So how you are going to identify? So for this element, CSS locator would be like that, because there were no attributes given to identify the particular web element. So for previous element, you identified the ID, and you are pointing to the next element. So similarly, like you can take a number of examples for any web element, that how you want to identify. Say that for sign up, right click inspect. So this yeah, here I got the dot operator. For CSS, dot operator is pointing to the class name. Fine. See over here. So class name is 6014. Fine. But you can see our six multiple nodes are there. Six multiple nodes coming. So in that case, the first one will be picked by default. So whatever the first element is, that maybe 6 is coming. So the first element is this one. So this would be picked. Because yesterday I told you that return type could be multiple. The find element, if you are using like XPath in find element, so it can return the multiple elements. And if it is returning the multiple elements, so in that case it is also going to find the first one only. Fine. And in the later sessions we will be showing like how you are going to identify the unique one via this locator. So this is the basic concept. And like for using different locators, say that I want to use different locators for this particular element. So I have changed over here CSS, and I will just right click inspect for this element. I got the CSS selector, and what I will do, I will copy it and I will try to use it in my script. I just pasted over here and I will use it. Driver dot find element, and by is the name of class which I need to pass, and via CSS selector. Fine. And in CSS selector, in the double quotes, you just need to cut and paste it. And what action you want to perform via dot operator, you can perform that action, because it is a web element, and for particular web element, whatever the methods which were present, that would be shown to you. And say that you want to perform, say that send key, you want to write something, then for writing the method is send key. Say that I'm writing over, say that, fine, just I'm taking the dummy. And now I want to identify the password field. So again I will go to this one, right click, inspect in firepath. Now CSS is coming for the same. I'll copy it, I will paste it somewhere. I will copy the code and I will change just the value of locator and I will use it. So this time I am making the use of CSS selector. So you have seen like XPath, you have seen CSS selector, you have seen like ID, class name, name, and other locators like link text, partial link text you have seen. So might be like in the coming season I'll be taking the season advanced level for the locators. Now if I want to run, then just right click on this part, run as Java application. Just wait. You can see over here web element is being identified and the actions is performed. So whatever the elements which are coming on a particular web page, it's called web element. And for each web element there are methods like send key, click, clear. So all methods are there and you can use those methods. So in this way, like we can identify our web element. Now I want to explain you like how to generate your own XPath for any particular web element. Fine. Say that Taking one example of login button. Fine. Right click, inspect XPath. So this is the XPath coming by the tool. And now I want to generate my own XPath. Fine. So how I am going to do that? I just want to copy it, paste somewhere so that later on I can match. So this is the system generated XPath. And now what I'll try to perform, I will perform it manually. The first should be double quotes. See that first should be double slash, and after that, if I want to write the XPath for this particular element, so tag name is input. Fine. And after that, big bracket should be there. Then after that, at the rate symbol should be there. And whatever the attribute you want to use, you can. No problem. Say that ID was there. I want to use value. And value of it is login. Just checking whether it is going to identify that element or not. See, this is the code written by myself and one matching node is coming. So in this way you can write your own XPath, and in that if it is not coming unique, so you can use other attributes too. Say that for using other attribute you can write like this. Again, a big bracket open, big bracket close, and suppose that you want to use tab index. So what you want to do, you have to write at the rate, it should be tab index, index equal to, in single quotes it should be 4. Again one matching node is coming. So in this way you can add multiple attributes for the particular XPath and you can generate your own XPath. Fine. This is the relative one, and if you want to generate the XPath absolute, so that is bit complex. I'm also going to explain that thing too right now. Just wait and find. Say that this is the web element. Right click, inspect. Fine. I'm taking the absolute XPath over here. Right click, inspect. See, I will explain how it is coming. Fine. First go to HTML, starts from HTML. This is the root tag considered, HTML. And what after that? Body. So we are not going to head, it's a folder like a structure. So after head it is going to body. So after HTML you should move to body, and after body it is written over div1. So div1, so first have a look why it is coming div1. I want to explain. In this case you can see there are multiple divs, or if it is not multiple you want to move to the first div, so that's why it is coming as div1. And if on the same level, if you will see here there are two divs, so if you want to move into this one, so you will write div1, and if you want to move into second div, so you will have to write div2. If there would be multiple, and if you want to move into div3, so you will be writing div3. Basically it starts from 1. The first number is 1. Don't get confused, like might be you are thinking array starts from 0. This kind of confusion is like happens, but think of that basically it starts from 1. So if you want to move to like div2, so the id should be div2. So you can see over here HTML, then body, then div1. So div1 is this part, and under div1, div1. So this is the part. again in that div. So in the div one, it is div, again div, again div. So in this way, div, you can see, and this is h1. Fine. So this is h1, and after that a tag, and after that I tag is there. So in this way, we used to generate our own XPath. Fine. So this is the way, like, you can also generate your own XPath. And one thing I would also like to tell, the difference which is like most important difference. The absolute XPath always gives the unique web element, and via relative XPath, the might be the case you are getting multiple web elements. So this is the most important region. So sometimes for identifying the web element, like a dynamic web element, we are going to use absolute XPath. So this is the interview question, like what are the ways in which you can find the dynamic elements. So one way is also like use of absolute XPath, because it doesn't work on ID, it doesn't work on attributes, it's basically work on the tags of HTML. Fine. So in this way, like, you can explain the interview. This is the all, like, it is also one procedure, or it's also one way to find the particular web element, the unique web element. Like if it is dynamic, then might be you are getting. But drawback is that suppose that there is some kind of changes in the UI design. So in that case, this has to be updated. But for relative XPath, if there is some kind of change in the UI part, so it doesn't require to be updated. It will automatically search that particular web element if there is particular change in any UI part. UI, it means front end, like user interface design. So both are having some kind of advantage and disadvantage too, but you will have to tell like that. So as per the changes in the UI, the absolute XPath need to be updated, but for UI changes, we don't required to update our relative XPath. Fine. Now I also want to use one more locator, that is tag name. Like all the locators, the basic concept of all the locators I have covered. The only one is
Rajiv,
when, yeah,
one question.
yes,
Can we write an export for the text on a
XPath for the text on a,
web page?
not getting your question exactly.
I mean, see, we have a create a new account on a Facebook page, right?
Okay,
Text. So can we write export for that?
yes, we can. Why XPath? You just you are writing XPath for the particular web element which you want to identify. That's it. That's the concept of XPath. Basically, it works on the XML path. Fine. The directory like a structure of the web element. So whatever the particular web element you want to identify, you can write the XPath. So in the coming section, I will be taking advanced session on the XPath, that is XPath access. So via like which the most challenging thing in the like web-based application automation is the to finding or identifying the web element. If the web element is being identified, so it's pretty easy to perform any action. But like the most challenging thing is to identify the particular web element, and via any locator, anyway, any locator you can perform like identification process. So
Thank you, Rajiv.
yeah, that's fine. Welcome. Now going further, I was going to explain something. Yeah, tag name, right? So what is the use of tag name by tag name? Fine, and how we are going to use? Say that find element, the concept of find element, if you are having the multiple web element, so in that case it is going to consider the first web element. So that is the concept with the find element. Fine. So if you are using by.tag name and you are providing some tag name which is like present multiple places on a particular web page, so in that case, like it is going to find or going to perform any access on the particular, the first one. Fine. Coming here, say that driver dot find element by dot tag name. Fine. One concept I would like to add here, I just missed that. Fine. See that double slash. If I am writing A, what will happen? Getting this concept? A is for links. A is for links. So it is going to give me 59 matches nodes. I have not written any big bracket and close. I have just performed this. Fine. And if I will write in this way, so it is going to give me all the web elements, like 572 web elements are present on the first page. See, you can see here where I am pointing from the mouse pointer, 572 nodes are present. And if you want to count like how many HTML, only one. Are you getting what I want to explain? This is the tags. So double slash and after that tag name you want to give, you can give. Say that I want to get a tag. So there are 59. You can see over here. And the first tag is this one. This is the first tag. All are highlighted. Which one is the first? This one is the first. If I am going to click, so href facebook.com title, go to Facebook home. So this is one is the first tag. Fine. So suppose that by using by dot tag name, I want to identify this web element and I want to perform some action. So how we are going to do that? Tag name is here A. You can see for links dot click. We can do that because it is giving 56, but it will be pointing to the first one. And one thing else, if it is not able to find via find element, then it is going to give no such element exception as well. That also I will show. Say that first I want to see and I will put comment in my remaining codes to show you the use of this line of code. Just running this piece of code. Wait. It's been done. Because manually if you are clicking on this, the same page is coming, right? So it is also clicking the same and it's been done. Fine. Now say that I have changed it via A to A1. So now what will happen? Just see that part 2, that which exception you are going to get, and that is the most common question being asked in the interview. You can see over here, this is the package name org openqa selenium. So via this is the package name and this is the name of exception. unable to locate element A1. And if you will see the last line of code, it is coming due to the line number 30. You will also have to look why it is coming. So due to line number 30, when you will go and check your code, so you will directly go to line number 30. Oh, this line of code, due to this line of code, I'm getting that kind of exception. So I need to correct this code. So now I'm corrected this code, and whatever actions you need to perform, you can perform. Uh, I think there was some tooltip, right? When I'm going to this one, some tooltip is coming. Go to Facebook home. So for printing tooltip, you will have to look, because it is being also asked in the interview, how you are going to get the tooltip. Fine. So via title you are going to get the tooltip, and to getting the title value, you will be using one method that is called getHaref. What I'm passing the title, and if I want to print it, I will have to use CISO. So you can see over here, via system.out.println, I am passing this web element, and like get attribute title. So basically it's being widely asked in the interview, and since it appears, so I wanted to explain, like with the help of title you can get the tooltip. In the get attribute, you will have to pass the attribute and it will give you the value, and this value is a string tag. So I can pass the string tag in the parenthesis of system.out.println, and it will directly print that. Fine. Just launch the application. You can see, go to my particular application. You can see here how I'm getting the tooltip, right? Guys, you can see here, this is the tooltip which is coming. Go to the Facebook home, and I'm getting the same tooltip printed over here. So for printing the tooltip, you need to use system.out.println, and you will have to pass the particular web element, and via dot get attribute, and you will have to pass the title and title value, whatever the title value which was present there. You can see over here is the title value. It was present in the particular web page for the particular web element, so it is coming over here from there. So I think that was enough for today's session, and tomorrow we'll be having no session because tomorrow is Sunday. If someone else wants to give, he can. I will be enjoying. Thank you guys. Thank you for today.
Thanks, Rajiv.
I hope you like it. Fine.
Yes, yes. So,
Thanks,
Majun,
Rajiv.
You're most welcome.
Thank you, Rajiv.